Hi, I'm Ruben. I'm reviewing Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom for the Review Tuesday and Pop Horror. So Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is directed by J.A. Boyana, who recently did A Monster Calls. Has got the team back from Jurassic World. You've got Chris Pratt and Dallas Bryers Howard. I think that's it. And obviously Blue, as you've seen in the trailers. And talking about the trailers, I was massively worried about going into watching this film after I'd seen the latest trailer, because I think I've seen it 3 or 4 times now, because I've seen it in the cinema when they're showing trailers for forthcoming previews for trailers, and oh my goodness, it really seemed like they'd given away the entire plot, and to that extent it did kind of. There are moments in this latest film where I felt like, the trailer gave this away. But that's not to say this is a bad film. Actually, coming out of it, it's my personal belief, I think that this is the second best in the franchise. Obviously, Jurassic Park is the best, and I don't think you can beat that. I was in Johannesburg around '93 when the film came out. I was meant to go clubbing, and it turned out my friend took me to a club where I was the only white person in the club, and it was awkward. So he said, maybe you shouldn't be here. And so I walked out and went and saw Jurassic Park, the first one, and it blew my mind. For me, Jurassic Park is Star Wars to a lot of people. It's my Star Wars, and I so enjoyed watching it, and it hasn't aged. So I'm very connected to this series. I loved each film, even The Lost World, and that's mostly because of Jeff Goldblum. I think he's brilliant in both the first and second film. Why? I like the third film, even though I know the third film had issues, and the one before this latest one, Jurassic World, I think is okay. It's a good adventure, but it definitely felt like it lost some of the magic of what Jurassic Park had.
Okay.
So getting to this one, the story is basically, as you see in the trailer, they have to rescue the dinosaurs from the island because the volcano is erupting. And Chris Pratt and Dallas, their characters, Claire and Owen, get roped into rescuing these dinosaurs, which I'm sure you've seen in the trailer. Try and avoid it if you can. And so the majority of the beginning of the film is this rescue, and it's spectacular and it looks beautiful. I would say that's one of the major points in this film, is how great it looks. The cinematography in this is stunning, and I mean, you could say that about all of the Jurassic Park films, but this one in particular has a feel and a style, and I think that largely comes down to what the director was going for with this Jurassic Park. So I think it would have been easier for the director and Universal to say, let's go bigger. Bigger is better. And as we've seen with the Transformers films, bigger is not always better. In fact, it can often get too messy, and there's too many threads to pull on to hone it if you just go wild with the explosions and you're all over the place and you don't know where you're going. So what happens in this film is that the majority of the rest of the film, after the initial rescue, is centered in a manor house, which looks kind of like the house from the Resident Evil games, with the first one, the big manor house. And because how secluded it is, because of how contained this film is, it catches on some of the magic that we had in the first film. In fact, they play lots of nods and homages to the original, like with the iconic scenes in the first one where the kids are in the car. When it's contained, Jurassic Park is actually quite scary, and if you go back and watch the first one, you'll see, or I've personally feel that there's still moments in that, even though I know what's coming and I've seen it 20-30 times, it's still scary. And this one manages to capture that with scenes in cars and corridors, and the tapping of the raptors. For the most part, this is a very predictable film because it has a formula to follow. The bad guys are going to get in peril, and somehow they've got to escape. I will say that Blue plays a major part in this film, as you can see from the trailer, and unfortunately the trailer gives a lot of that away. That would be my only kind of real critic, is that the trailer really gives some of the major plots of the story away. But there are still fantastic story elements in this which you haven't seen in the trailer, thank goodness, and this makes this film great. In an interview with the director, he said he was really going for a gothic, almost horror feel. They wanted to go back to the scares, and I think they've managed to capture that. This film is really fun and has really scary moments, and manages to capture those original feelings that I had from the first film. And even so much so that the original score sometimes comes in, and there's undertones in the score that play in the background and really kind of adds another layer to what the director was trying to get. But by the time you get to the end of this film, it really feels like Universal has said to the director, okay, can you please add in this bit because we want to set it up for many more. And I'm sure nobody's under the illusion that there weren't going to be many more. I thought maybe there was just going to be one and it was going to be a new trilogy. But from what I gather, it looks like they're setting up more than an extra one. It looks like there might be multiple. And of course, they're a business and they want to make more movies, and people love to see dinosaurs. Kind of, when you go into a film like this watching about dinosaurs, you kind of have to put some plausibility aside and just go for it, for the adventure. I mean, the original was Steven Spielberg doing a great story with great characters, and I feel like they've managed to capture a lot in this one of this new part. I really prefer this second part to the Jurassic World first part. And I think I'm going to stand by my decision that this is the second best in the franchise. I'm really looking forward to what they do with the next. When you do see it, yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks so much for watching this review. Next week, our review for Luke Cage Season 2 comes out. Catch that. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and all that malarkey.